Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Entropic Knights. Now, the other day we were playing an entropy-based puzzle where there was essentially like every row had its own entropy, and we had to basically figure it out. And I immensely enjoyed it. That when I saw something that combines entropy, knight move, I knew I really wanted to play this particular puzzle. Now, the puzzle itself actually has two versions from Sudoku Explorer. One where there is one extra digit that will help drop the difficulty rating substantially. Sudoku Explorer's assessment is this is a 4-star difficulty rated without that digit, and it's 2 stars if I'm given that digit. Now, normally when I'm given that choice, I usually go for the easier option to try and keep it kind of in the more approachable level for this particular kind of channel. But I'm feeling a little bit up for a challenge today, so I'm gonna start off with the harder puzzle, and if I get really stuck on the break-in, I'll just take a peek at what the extra digit is, or the extra clue. Supposedly from the language that was given, it's literally just one digit that actually makes it that much easier to break in. And then we can obviously kind of keep moving. But I feel like I have a bit of an inclination just taking a look at today's puzzle and rule sets. Speaking of which, let's do that together with Entropic Knights by Sudoku Explorer, and the following set of rules. First one is obvious, we know that. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box, so that's 1. Anti-knight, digits must not repeat in cells that are a chess knight's move apart. So if this cell is 2, for example, can't be a chess knight's move apart, which is that L shape. So these cells, all of which cannot be 2 either. Very powerful rule. Entropic lines, every 3 consecutive cells along an entropic line must contain a low digit, 1, 2, 3, a middle digit, 4, 5, 6, and a high digit, 7, 8, 9. So clearly by placing this 2, I know that this cell is low, is 1, 2, or 3. I'm using blue for low, yellow for middle, red for high. They don't have to be in the order that's been given. So the next one along doesn't actually have to be medium. That could be a high digit. But then the next one along would absolutely have to be a middle digit. The thing is every 3 cells. So now you've got blue, red, yellow. Well, the next pattern, well, I've got red and yellow. This one will have to be blue. And you can repeat that logic kind of forwards and backwards, of course, to essentially color the rest of this entropy line. Kropki dots, so digits separated by a black dot are in a 1 to 2 ratio, and digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. Not all dots are given. So let's go with this 4, 6 in here. Essentially what that's saying is that this cell has to be in a 2 to 1 ratio with these 2. That 4, for example, could be a 2. Well, I mean, I'll be repeating it in the box, which is not a good idea, or an 8. And that 6 could be a 3. As long as one cell is double the other, you're good to go. Then last but not least, we've got these cells in here. Actually, let's go with these 2. That have to be consecutive. So if this cell is a 2, for this to be consecutive, this would have to be 1 or 3. Fairly straightforward set of rules. Hopefully, I'm not biting off too much for us to chew today. As always, if you want to play along, link will be in the description down below for you to do so. I'll genuinely see how I get on as to whether I'm going to need the additional clue. And if I don't, I'm going to leave a link to both of them. If I do, and I get stuck for like 20 minutes, I'm just going to use the simpler one. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. You know, the white Kropki dots are actually more powerful than you might expect when it comes to entropy lines, because we know that these have to be on the edge of entropy lines. So for example, this cannot be a 2, because this will be 1 or 3, which would be the same entropy, and this cell has to be different. So essentially, this massively limits the options, and I'm actually going to start on these ones because let's see some false colors. I don't know what's blue, yellow, red, so I'm going to go with purple, green, and orange, and then obviously I'm going to repeat it. Purple, green, orange, and then sorry, I said orange and then put in purple, and then back to green, isn't it? No, purple, green, orange, purple, green, orange, purple. Right. This cell could not possibly be purple, can it? Actually, it could be. Actually, oh, better still. Right, these two cells. So remember what I said earlier about these two, that they have to be on the edge. Like, for example, this could be 3 and 4, because they have to be different entropies. They're different colors. Now, what is interesting is that whether this is 3 and this is 4, this would have to be 2. It would have to be the same entropy as the 3. Equally, if this was 4 and this was a different entropy, that would be 3, this would have to be the 5. So essentially, this cell is definitely green, and now I've got 3 greens. I also know that purple and green are bordering one another. To be fair, I don't know that purple is not middle. So this, unfortunately, could... You know, where I was striving with this is that essentially because green is not available, this would have to be purple or orange. But purple is adjacent to green, therefore this would have to be purple because green is not available. We've got 3 of them. You can only have 3 in a particular box, row, or column. But that's not strictly speaking true. If these are 4, 5, 6, I would get away with this being orange, unfortunately. Regardless, whether this is purple or orange, what I should remember is I don't have any more greens. So this line, these two cells are a mix of purple and orange, and therefore the surrounding cells are green cells. And then I can do every third cell, so 1, 2, 3, that's another green. 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 Now, this has to be different. And we're back to the fact that we know that green and purple are adjacent. It kind of almost leads you down to thinking that this is going to be purple. This is harder than I was expecting, by the way. So maybe Sudoku Explorer was correct to say that this is more like 4 stars without that additional digit. So we're after, maybe I kind of had to think about what this cell is, and these two in fact. So essentially we're after bordering digits, so 3 or 4. So essentially it's a 3-4 pair, or it's a 6-7 pair. It can only be one of these two. Same in here is 3-4 or 6-7, which also tells me whether I have 3 and 4 or whether I have 6 and 7, this black Kropki dot can never be a 3-6 pair. It is always from 1, 2, 4, 8. In fact, so is this cell. No, because it's not a 3-6 pair. Even if I have 6, 7, that can actually be 3 and then that could be 6. So it's true in here. It's not necessarily true in this black Kropki dot. Okay, careful sleuth. Now we know that this is low or... No, actually the 4 is middle. So if we've got 1, 2 from blue, 4 from yellow, and 8 from high. So this is not helpful right now. Ooh, I wonder, like I said, if I've bitten off a bit too much at this point. One thing I could do, and I'll be honest, I'm not keen on doing that, is start to use some letters. Oh, of course, night move. I do have to use it. Right, what is this green cell? We know it's not this cell because I can see that with night move. And therefore it's got to be one of these two. Yeah, I need to use knights to make some progress here. Right, let's think about this then, this cell. If this is purple, this cell and this cell are the same. Absolutely plausible. because essentially we'd see these two purples and then these would be purples. These two would be the same digit. Right. Not what I was hoping to do, by the way, but am I going to flip to letters? I kind of need to start thinking about what these cells are relative to one another with Knight's move. That's the challenge. I know for sure that this cell is orange because essentially I've used the three purples here. One of them is purple, 2, 3. This cell is interesting because we know this is purple or orange. If this is purple, if this cell is purple, it sees all of them. It sees all the purples regardless. Brilliant. Brilliant, Sudoku Explorer. Let me show you. So if this is purple, where is this digit in box 8? Well, it can't be here because that's a Knight move. Can't be there. That's Knight move. Can't be in here because these two cells are seen by Sudoku, and then I've broken the puzzle. So this has to be orange. So the order on this line is orange, green, purple, helpful. Then orange, green, purple, orange, green, purple, orange, green, purple, orange, green. And now we know that green is in the middle of both purple and orange. So orange, green, purple, orange. Right, we have a lot of information now. We probably know our break-in. This has to be 4 or 6. So back to my examples of it's either a 3-4 pair or a 6-7 pair. I need green to be the 4 or 6. It has to be the middle one because the neighbor is either 3 or 7 in both of these. And therefore, if this is 3, 4, this would be 5. If this is 6, 7, this would be 5. This is always 5. And we fundamentally have a break-in. Green is now yellow. These are very interesting too. This cell is a different entropy, isn't it? No, if it's a 1-2 pair, it doesn't have to be. So orange is high, 8 would be there, this would be 4, this would be 6, this would be 5. It's like it works very well. So 4-8 pair, and specifically this would have to be the 8, this would have to be the 4, works beautifully. In fact, we know that this cannot be 4 anymore because orange is either low or high, so it can't be middle. This was never 4 anymore. Well, it can't be 4 anymore. Doesn't remove any digits necessarily from here, does it? Yes, 8 is no longer available because 4 is not here. That's the only way to reach it. Okay, so we've discussed 4-8 works. What if it's 1-2? Because that's another possibility that orange is low. This would be essentially a 1-2 pair. Come on, Sleuth, there's probably something I'm missing. What am I missing? There is a second, sorry, no, this could be purple. Ah, it's a shame. I was thinking for a second there's a third purple in here, and therefore it's not this cell, and therefore this purple has to be in here. And we know that this purple is in there. And that is sadly, and then it would place this purple. I mean, like it really starts to collapse fairly quickly if I can actually just get some digits on here. This is another 4-6. I need to differentiate these somehow, I think. And I really don't want to use letters, but I fundamentally feel like that's the next key, is we need to start differentiating some of these. This can be yellow as well. So I just don't know what these digits are. Right, if this is 7, this is 8, this is 9. If this is 3, this is 1, 2, and this is 1, 2. This is a 1, 2 pair. That's actually fine. This is 8 and 4. Yeah, I just don't know. This can't be 8 or 9. So it'd have to be this cell. It would have to be this 7. And in fact, it can't be 1 or 2. It would have to be 3. I end up with a 3-7 pair. This is fascinating. In here. Which makes this... Right, where's the orange 3-7? It can't be these cells. This is the orange 3-7. So we established these two are the same. How are we doing for time? Like, I'll give this until 20, so 7 more minutes, and then I will look up that additional digit that would probably give us colors and all of this, and then we can make some progress. But sorry, I'm enjoying this a bit too much to pass on it just yet. So let's have a think. This 129 can't be in any of these cells. Technically could be this cell. Could be this cell, could be this cell. It's not very helpful. Orange is like heavily done in column 5. So there are 2 purples and 1 yellow in here. Including this purple, which can't be this cell. It doesn't make this yellow though. We know that there is a purple in one of these 2 for sure. This cell specifically. Right, I'm doing it. Sorry. There is the obvious statement. Where is A in box 6? Not in here. Why did I make this C? That could have been A all along. Sleuth. I have to be very careful about these. So this is definitely different. None of these are A. None of these are A. Because it's a different color. So none of these are A. None of these are A. This is not A. Night move. This is not A. That is A. C, therefore, is in one of these 3 cells. This cannot be B. But it can be C. This cannot be C. It is B or A. Oh, sleuth, sleuth, sleuth. This feels harder. A is in one of these 2 cells. Why am I saying that A is in one of these 2? Because I'm fundamentally making the assessment that this is not 3-7, and I don't think that's a fair statement. Here's another thing that I haven't really used. These 4-6s are all different. This 4-6 is different. These two are the same. Not here, not there. There's a lot of places that it can be. I need a bit more information. So I'm gonna go with D and E. Therefore D. E or 5. E or 5. This cell is definitely not E, but it can be D or 5. This is not helping me. This is E or 5. This is not 128 or 37. This is 129. This is not 37. Sorry, not C. This is the 128 option. It's this cell. This is the 129 option. It's that cell. This 129 is none of these. This is 128 or 129. We knew that anyway. C is neither of these cells. This is AB. This cannot be A. This is B. This is C. This is A. Wow. Like, it feels so close. It feels so close. That we're like on the verge. We know this is, no, we know this is not D, but we don't know anything else. Don't know. We need to figure out this cell. Fundamentally, that's the problem. Right, let's use some false colors again. Green, 1, 2, green. And then these two are the same color, and it's not green. Green in this particular case, because we haven't resolved the purple and orange, it's actually... No, I can't use these, I'm sorry. I have to use a different set. So grey, grey, dark grey, black. Now, this cell cannot be purple. It sees all of them. So dark grey is not purple. Could it be yellow? Yes. Could it be orange? Yes. In fact, here's a much better question. Black and dark grey cannot be purple. Therefore, these two cells are purple. There you go. Because these two see all three purples. So it's only the light grey that could have been purple. And that's what we needed. This is B. This is C. This is not purple anymore. I'm not getting the significance of that just yet, by the way, but it should give me the color. The fact that I've got all three purples. Because this is yellow or orange now. And it's not orange because it sees all three oranges. It sees the 3-7, it sees the 1-2-9 with knight move, and it sees it with Sudoku. This is yellow, and therefore it has to be 4 because it's medium. Wow. This is hard work, Sudoku Explorer. 20. Oh, I did say I'll give it 20 minutes, and I clearly did a bit more, but that's our answer. Right, this is now not orange, it's high. Purple is low with blue, and I can fill in a whole bunch of digits now. 7, 9. Now it's got to be 6. That's got to be 5. That's got to be 6. This is not 4 or 6. That's got to be 5. That's got to be 6. That's got to be 4. That's got to be 3. 7, 7, 9, 8, 9. 1, 2 pair. That was A and B, wasn't it? So I'm going to just rewind a second. A and B. So 1 and 2, 1, 2. Therefore, that is 3. These are 1, 2. This is another 1, 2. This is 3, 4. And we have more than just a break-in. We've got a thing of beauty, I would say. This, I mean, I kind of need the letters a little bit still because this is another 1, 2 that is different from this 1, 2. But we're going to just crack on, I think. Not 6, not 5, but it can be 4. And not 9, not 7, but it could be 8. So this is 4 or 8. This cell is not 4 or 5, but it could be 6. And then by the looks of things, it could be fundamentally any of the remaining high digits. That's quite unfortunate. This cell, if it's middle, it's not 4, but it could be 5 or 6. And if it is high, it's not 9 or 8, but it could be 7. I mean, we fully pencil mark them, but not hugely helpful. These are going to be green, these are going to be orange, and I think we can crack on, really. 3, 4, 8, 6, 7. This is 1, 2, 9. This cannot be a 9. This is 1, 2, 4. There's definitely a 2 between these. Yes, except the 2 is between these 3 cells, isn't it? Yeah, I'm right. So this is 2. These are not 2s. This is not a 1, not a 2. It has to be a 4. That gives me 3. That gives me 4. That 2 gave me a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2, a 1, a 9, a 1. Yeah. So once you sort of break in, the rest of it will just kind of collapse fairly quickly. These 3 cells, actually, this is not 7. Both 8 and 9 work. There can't be a 9 in here. That's a 9. Sudoku, sleuth, don't forget it, please. 8. And we're truly off and up and racing. That is not a 5, actually. That's 6. That's 5. These are known. This is 3, 7, 8. That is not 8. That is not 3. I don't know if I have enough information yet. But surely between all of these, in fact, all of them have to be 3, 7, or 8. There is a 7 and 8 in here. That can't be 7 or 8. So this is 6 or 9. Unfortunately, it doesn't help me, even if I'm limiting the options. And I'm limiting the options further, but it still doesn't help me. It doesn't give me the colors in here for some reason. It'll be nice if it does. This is 1. That's not 6. But this is 4. It's not 4 either. That's 5. That means 5 is one of these. But Sudoku says it's in here. And therefore that's 4. And therefore that's 9. And we're done with entropy. Beautiful break-in Sudoku Explorer. And I will call it break-in because you kind of have to work through... these are not blue, excuse me. Kind of have to work through all of them to get here. Right, Sudoku. Can't be a 3 in here, otherwise it would see this cell and this cell. So it's one of these two is a 3. And what am I missing in here? I've got 3, 8, and something else. 3, 8, 6. 6 is not here. So this is 3 or 8. It's not 8. It's 3. And then 6, 8 pair. And then whatever this cell is, 7. That is not a 7 then. That's 8. That's 6. That's 8. That is not 7. Nor 8. That's 3. That's 7. Need a 4. Yeah, can only be in here. A 7, an 8 somewhere, and a 6. Excuse me. 9 can only go in there. 2. He says, kind of unsure. Can't be 3. Could be 5. Could be 8. 5, 8. 3, 5, 8. Definite 3. 5, not 6. I need 1, 6, 7. Not 6. Not 7. That's the 1. 3, 5, 8. Not 3. Not 8 or 5 is 3. I know it's a bit dull kind of seeing me pencil mark both options and then having to kind of backtrack and clean it up. It's just such a good puzzle that I don't want to ruin it with bad Sudoku at this point. Not 6, sorry, not 9. Actually, this is better. This is not 6 or 7. That is 9. That's 6, 7. Unresolved by the looks of things. I need a 1. Can only be in here. A 2, which can only be in there. What else have I got? I've got 9. I can just place with Sudoku. 4. Then the rest will hopefully unlock the rest of it for me. So 6 can only be here. 7, 6. 7, 6. I need a 5 and 7. That's 7. That's 5. That gives me 8, 5. Surely 3, 8, 5, 3, and if I've not made any mistakes, 8 for the finish. That is a phenomenal puzzle, Sudoku Explorer. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to agree with the 4-star difficulty rating. I mean, it does take a long time to break in. You get the 5 fairly quickly, but then determining the entropy for the highs and lows does take a while. But then once you figure that out, the rest of it just absolutely collapses. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. Fairly proud of that solve. If you find a quicker path, I'm always interested. And I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.